We all remember our childhood RPG, the games that opened our eyes to vivid worlds, pages of endless damage types, and nerdy gamer math. For some, it was the handheld classics such as Pokemon Emerald or Golden Sun. For others, it was PlayStation 2 classics like Kingdom Hearts or the Dot Hack series. And for some 90s kids, it was most likely Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII was released in 1997 for the PlayStation 1 to massive critical acclaim and soon became one of the biggest selling games on the console. Fans and critics alike were blown away by the game's graphics, gameplay, music, and overall presentation. Despite having a PS1 as a kid, I was too young to understand turn-based combat, and instead I focused on simple things like cars and genetics. Final Fantasy was just never a franchise I dove into. The most I've played of the series was a Final Fantasy X demo disc for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, I'm that old and crusty. So after 27 years and with Rebirth about to release, I decided to play Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and it was an all-time experience. After more than a week of Materia hunting, cursing at Shinra, and simping over waifus, I can say that without any hesitation, that Final Fantasy VII is one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, and it's now my personal favorite. How did I come to this conclusion? Well, for that, we need to start at the beginning. So, pull up a chair, crack open a cold one, and listen to how I beat Final Fantasy VII for the first time. Before we start though, remember to like the video and join me sometime as I play games. I had plenty of wonderful people join me on the live streams and help me on my journey, so thanks for that. The game opens with this stunning CG cinematic showcasing the dieselpunk Midgar and a slum drunk. This opening cutscene not only showcases the game's technical prowess, but also highlights the game's stunning art direction. Midgar is this weird fusion of cyberpunk themes, dieselpunk aesthetics, and then mix in some traditional fantasy villages and a grungy wasteland. It's during and after this amazing cutscene that I got my first taste of the delicious score of Final Fantasy VII. Let's just say the game blew me away faster than the male prostitutes at the Honeybee Inn. During this playthrough, I stopped multiple times and just took in the atmosphere that the game was presenting. Somehow the composer, Uematsu, was able to perfectly blend his instrumentation with the pre-rendered backgrounds, creating a deep level of immersion unmatched by most games despite the limited 1997 hardware. There are simply no misses. And sorry if I butchered his name, it's a running gag on this channel at this point to mispronounce most things. It gives the trolls something to feast on in the comments. Now, I've heard plenty of people say that Final Fantasy series features the best video game music, and from the jump, I was starting to see why. At the end of the cutscene, we are introduced to our main character, Cloud Strife, and the graphics of 1997. Despite being cutting edge back in the day, 27 years later, the game looks like a Funko Pop character model molded from dog shit. Despite this, the pre-rendered backgrounds were actually quite good. Did I struggle to know what the hell I could actually walk on? Of course. But it did make me experiment with the environment on a much deeper level. Our main character Cloud is a mercenary working for the domestic terrorist group Avalanche. Our opening mission is to storm a reactor and destroy it, which in hindsight is one of the best openings in gaming history. Most RPG games open with a small village, your grandpa, and a wooden sword. Final Fantasy says, screw this, here's some terrorism, bitch. You trade the small, quiet village for a darkened steel world. The humble farm boy for Billy Idol with a massive sword. The game hasn't even taught you the buttons yet you're playing an Al-Qaeda simulator. During this opening, I love how Cloud is presented as an edgelord, focused on being cool and badass. The other members of Avalanche, Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge, are clearly in all of your soldier background and elite Shinra unit. They are just some lovable losers though, trying to fight back against the man. Then comes Barrett, which is one of my favorite characters. While he seems like an over-the-top comedic stereotype at first, you'll notice how this is a facade as the game progresses. Like most games, we gotta fight, which is one of the strengths of Final Fantasy VII. Personally, I loved the ATB system and the combat. One of the main reasons of my enjoyment was the Materia system. The Materia system is essentially a shared ability and spell system where you can equip your characters with different spells and commands. One of the cooler parts of this system is how each materia levels up independently of your character, meaning your ice materia can level up even when your character doesn't. You can also share materia between characters, meaning you can exchange materia, create unique builds, and experiment with every character. The options and build variety is actually insane and can be overwhelming to a new player. The best aspect of this system is how you can essentially make each character your own, building them to a playstyle of your choosing. Do some characters favor certain styles? Yes, but you can completely ignore this. You can make every character a DPS, support, healer, or tank. It's really up to you. You can make on-the-fly changes to your materia, focusing on enemies' weaknesses. While so many games make respecking hard or tedious, Final Fantasy VII makes changing materia slots easy, fun, and engaging. Does the game need loadouts when forcing you to exchange materia from character to character? Yeah, but even this tedious action doesn't ruin this perfect system. Then, on top of this, you add in limit breaks, which are powered up moves that build up over a fight. These are amazing and feel cinematic when performed by your characters. Are some better than others? Well, of course, I'm looking at you, Vincent. But overall, they can be absolute game changers, and finding the best ways to exploit these powers can be key in certain battles. So, once intros and combat were out of the way, I continued into the reactor, fought a giant scorpion, and set off some fireworks. Cloud also had some weird off voices go off in his head, which, bit weird. During our escape, the group gets separated, and we meet a totally insignificant flower girl. She's totally a throwaway character, and we will never see her again. After, we fight some more Shinra goons before doing a badass leap on the train. Again, Cloud is focused on looking cool and not messing up his hair. Arriving, we take in the sights and the terrible smells of the Sector 7 slum. The game really tries to highlight the discrepancy of the higher plates and the slums below. Above, the people have cars and Mako energy, while in the slums, they have neon and hepatitis. It's here that we are introduced to the 7th Heaven Bar and a pivotal character, Tifa. Despite just meeting, it becomes clear that these characters have a past, one that'll be vital to the story. We also meet Barrett's daughter Marlene, who despite being a child, helps run the bar. That's normal. As a team, we plan on another reactor explosion, despite the numerous deaths that followed our last mission. You see, the game hints at the innocent lives that were lost by the explosion. Does the game beat us over the head with guilt? No, it's not trying to be that type of story. While it does give these moments and themes momentary shine, it's clear they don't want to burden our characters or story with nuanced character guilt and gray choices. It's more like an adult joke in a kid's movie. It's there for the people who understand it. However, it's not the major theme in a T for teen game. The game mostly focused on more black and white issues. Are there deeper themes like regret, loss, and the relationship between man and planet? Sure, but the game isn't trying to have preteens understand guilt and morally gray characters. Corporations bad, trees good is sometimes easier to frame. These other themes are there if you want it, but not something the game forces down your throat. I personally like this. The game focused on important things and let the player search out the depth. While it's not perfect, again, it's understandable for a T for teen game in the late 90s. From here, we dispatch on our next reactor mission, which goes poorly. The president shows up, calls us gay, and then Cloud is yeeted from the upper levels, only to come crashing down on a bed of flowers. Remember that insignificant flower girl that is also the slum drunk? Well, actually, that is Aerith, one of the more important characters. It became clear why so many people pined over her because she almost had this invasive, infectious cheerfulness. The waifu counter? It's up to 2. Before Aerith can bum money for another bottle, Cloud fends off the Turks, Shinra, and escorts her back to her house. Her mother isn't impressed and politely asks you to go fuck yourself. Despite your insistence, Aerith won't let you go without her. After escorting her, Cloud and her share a tender moment where you get hints at both of their backstories. This moment is very tender and beautifully captures the tranquil beauty of the slums. The game is setting up mysteries in this moment that won't pay off for literally another 25 plus hours. It's frankly just brilliant. These tender moments are interrupted as the pair spots Tifa being hauled in a carriage. So it was time to head for Wall Market, a cesspool of weirdos, gambling, and OnlyFans models. And I know that sounds like Kick, but I promise it's different. I was naive in the moment because I thought we were going to do a daring rescue and storm the Don's mansion. Nope, the game wants me to play RuPaul Simulator and lip sync for my life. Cloud needed to help the various deviants of the city just so they can help me tuck my Buster Sword. This, again, caught me off guard, but did I love it? You bet that sweet ass I did. What upset me though was that despite the sexual favors I performed, the Don still chose Aerith over Cloud. That shit hurt. After threatening to smash, cut, and bash the Don's little dangler, he warns us that the Shinra plans to drop a literal plate onto the sector, killing Avalanche. Before I can untuck the Midgar Zalem in my pants, the Don dumps our ass in the sewers, ruining my dress. It's here that we fight Ninja Turtles and gain the Steel Materia, one of the best and most important materia in the game. You see, lots of badass gear and items can be obtained by stealing from enemies, including weapons and accessories. This can be incredibly valuable, especially if you are looking to collect an entire set of items for your crew. After escaping the sewers, we form our own paranormal investigation group, the Ghost Fisters, and rush through the train graveyard, fisting ghosts and evil houses. On arrival, Team Avalanche is engaged with a massive battle, and we find most of the unit dead. Thank God we fist ghosts, letting each one say their goodbyes. In all seriousness though, it was shocking to say goodbye to these characters because I thought they were going to have larger roles in the story. At the top of the support pillar, we fight the Turks once again and realize that Aerith has been taken. Apparently she's an ancient and is wanted by Shinra. What the hell is an ancient, you ask? The game isn't going to tell you because it's doing everything it can to set up mystery after mystery, which is how I became so hooked. Sure, the gameplay is fun and the characters are likable, but the mysteries are first class. Get it? As the chopper flies off, the plate drops, and the team narrowly escapes. Barrett and Tifa are distraught, and rightfully so. They both have lost friends in a horrible disaster and failed to stop Shinra's evil deeds. Heading for Aerith's home, Barrett is relieved to find Marlene safe, and we get some backstory on Aerith. Turns out she's adopted, hence her slum drinking habits and questionable ancient background. This moment really goes out of its way to make you feel something for the mom having lost her husband. It hints at Aerith's connection with the planet and how she's different from the rest of us. After, the team decides to climb the plate and rescue Aerith before she has her withdrawals. So, Cloud collects some batteries, and we start our ascent. Arriving, the game gives us two prompts. Want to kick down the front door, or take the side entrance stairs? I took the stairs, which was a massive mistake. This felt like the latter scene from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, just with more dialogue. It was kinda nice though because it featured some unique interactions with the characters. Once inside, Cloud shows off, solves some puzzles, and kicks some Shinra ass, Team Avalanche style. Upon arrival on the higher floors, the teams find that shit got real weird. We finally locate Aerith, who is about to be bred with Red 13, a cat-dog hybrid. The sick bastard trying to film the bestiality is Hojo, an evil Shinra scientist. Hojo is the type of guy to spike your drink in the name of science. Seriously, this dude takes evil scientists to creepy ass levels, and he clearly has some evil ass intentions up his sleeves. After Red 13 chews off his sausage, Cloud and the gang manages to fight off the abominations and locate a tank labeled Genova. Oh boy, things are starting to become Bloodborne levels of weird. We also pick up the enemy skill Materia, which I later learned is the best materia in the game. This materia allows you to copy moves the enemy use against you. This is broken. So many great abilities and moves like Big Guard and Beta become vital later in my run. Before the team could celebrate their victories and return to Wall Market for another good old suck, Cloud and company are jumped again by the Turks. As Barrett tries his best to break free and take his revenge, the president gives his evil monologue and explains Shinra's motivations. Shinra wants Mako and to find a place called the Promised Land. This place supposedly has an endless supply of Mako, and Shinra sees this as a perfect place to build Neo Midgar. This, of course, is terrible, because the extraction of Mako is killing the planet, leading to beast attacks on citizens and causing areas to become literal wastelands. Shinra, if you haven't already guessed, are evil corporate assholes. The party is locked up Akon style, yet before Cloud and Tifa can do the jailhouse rock, the doors mysteriously open. Following the ominous trail of blood, we find President Shinra impaled by a massive katana. It's Sephiroth. Now, who is Sephiroth? Isn't he dead? Why did he kill the president? Why have we been released? Does Sephiroth want the Promised Land? What the hell happened to the headless Genova body? So many damn questions. As our team makes their escape down the elevators, fighting off robots and henchmen, Cloud makes his way to the rooftop where he faces off against Rufus, the new president. After beating his dog like a John Wick villain, Cloud and company made their escape. Despite only being a few buttons, I made the badass motorcycle chase look hard. After fighting off the Wild Bunch, the team faces a robot constructed by wheels. Seriously though, on a side note, the enemy design of Final Fantasy VII is weirder than a grooming YouTuber's apology. Motorcycle dudes, evil teapots, lots of double-headed things. It feels like nothing was left on the cutting room floor. I mean, some of these designs look like the mad scribbles of a simpleton on a drug-fueled bender. Does this hurt the game in any way? No, but it does make some moments odd and feel like a madhouse. If that was the intention, job well done. After battling on the patriotic highway to freedom, the group decides to chase after Sephiroth, and to ensure that Shinra can't reach the Promised Land. This is what blew my mind. Midgar is nothing more than a 6-hour tutorial. The game still has multiple gameplay systems it hasn't even taught the player yet. The entire purpose of Midgar feels like it was just an exercise to set up the conflicts, the antagonists, and hint at the mysteries. It's these mysteries that fueled my playthrough. Every character has a backstory or history that you wanted and needed to explore. For Barrett and Tifa, why do they hate Shinra so much? And what is the real relationship between Cloud and Tifa? I mean, what the hell happened to Barrett's arm? For Aerith and Red 13, what happened to their people? And what does it mean to be an ancient or a dog-cat thingy? And for Cloud, why was he hearing voices? And what happened to Sephiroth? To answer that, we headed for Calm. It's there that we are introduced to the Nibelheim flashback, a place Cloud and Tifa grew up, and a pivotal moment in the story. This flashback is told from Cloud's perspective and shows how he returned to his home village as a member of Soldier with Sephiroth. We are able to explore Cloud's home, visit his mom, and steal Tifa's underwear. Somebody needs to Me Too this dude before he changes his name to Cloud Weinstein. During our mission, we are accompanied by some nameless Shinra soldiers and by a young Tifa who acts as our guide through the mountains. Once at the reactor, we discover that Hojo has been experimenting on people, and we see firsthand how Sephiroth finds the remains of Genova, his mother. After locking himself away and studying research in the Shinra Manor, Sephiroth discovers that he is an experiment and goes insane, thinking himself an ancient and gaining a hatred for all life. Cloud is powerless to stop Sephiroth as he destroys Nibelheim, including Cloud's mother and Tifa's father. He also wounds Tifa. Before we see the fate of the characters though, Cloud ends his story, unable to recall the ending events. He knows that Sephiroth is dead, but can't remember how, despite admitting to the obvious power advantage in Sephiroth's favor. It's clear to the player that something with Cloud's memory is foggy, unclear, that something is blocking him from remembering certain elements. Despite the weird nature of the storytelling, Cloud's story was capable of painting a vivid picture of the destruction that Sephiroth is capable of. I mean, if he's back, we'll need to stop him. From here, we must find a way to cross the swamps without angering the Midgar Zalem that keeps whipping our ass. So, we strike a deal with Chocobo Billy and captured a new best friend. I named him Keith. His parents won't miss him. Using Keith, we are able to sneak past the Zalem, witness a snake murder, and enter the mines. Once inside, Cloud and company once again kick the shit out of the Turks. At this point, the Turks are starting to feel like your Pokemon rival. They show up, you whip their ass, they move on to the next town. While they are antagonists, they also have this weird code in some ways. I mean, plus they have Elena, another waifu. Once through the mine, we gain a new team member, Yuffie. Yuffie is actually an optional team member and required certain dialogue options in order for her to join. Some might find this odd by today's standards because most companions are forced upon you. Yuffie is mostly a background comic relief character, and you can tell she can't be given such a massive spotlight because she's optional. Sure, later you can go to Wutai and get some cool character stuff, but again, it's all optional. I found this to be really cool side content stuff, and hands down better than the mindless fetch quests that so many modern games are plagued with. So with Yuffie joining the team, we get another waifu. She's 16. Like I said, happy to have her on the team a safe and legal distance away. Next, it was time for Junin City, and the slums below. You see, in Junin, Shinra built over top the poor people below, dunking on them. Kinda gross if you ask me. Before we could ascend to the city above, we first met a small child who befriended a dolphin, and then we fought an evil sea creature. This is why you don't talk to strangers. After the fight, the girl is injured, forcing us to beat her back to life using the worst CPR methods. Because of our heroics, Mr. Dolphin gave us a lift to the upper levels, where Cloud cosplays as a Shinra soldier. Everything in Junin is a showcase for Rufus, the new president, and we performed so well on TV that the producers sent us a bomb. How nice! After performing a military striptease for Rufus, I earned his favor, earning me a belly rub and a victory pose. Guess who's not getting abused by Heidegger in the Shinra showers tonight? This guy. Cloud and crew goes incognito and sneaks on the ship headed across the ocean. Once aboard, we gift Yuffie some medical-grade tranquilizers and try our best to blend in. After overhearing Rufus and the Shinra schemes, our cover is blown. I wonder what the hell gave us away. Turns out, we aren't the intruders though, Sephiroth is. He shows up and does what he does best, speaking more riddles than a FromSoft NPC. At this point, might as well change his name to Stephen Bloodborne. And right on cue, a weird abomination monster. After sending the inbred beast back to West Virginia, we kick up our feet in Costa del Sol. While relaxing and playing beach volleyball with my waifus, I find Hojo. Did I expect the evil scientist Hojo to be macking on babes getting a tan, all while still in his lab coat? God, I miss the 90s. After Costa del Sol, we continued toward the mountain pass, traversing past the abandoned Six Flags and Shinra Reactor. Finally, once in town, we are greeted with open arms. Ow, shit! The people here hate Barrett and blame him for the hardships that have plagued the area. Like I said earlier, Barrett has layers. After, we ride the cable car to the Golden Saucer, an amusement park that stands as a beacon in the Coral Desert. The Golden Saucer is a playland, not only for the world, but also for the player. The city has every indulgence the player could want or need. It has a spooky hotel, an arcade full of minigames, chocobo racing. While we took in the sights, we meet our next companion, Kate She or Kate Sith. There's been a debate over the name, so I'm just gonna call them Asshole. It's more fitting. Asshole tags along, hoping to understand our future and to help us find Barrett, who's stormed off. Should we question who's behind the robotic controls? Of course not, I'm sure it doesn't matter. As we explore with our new friend, and I say friend lightly, we discover the people have been shot in the battle arena, and from what people are saying, it sounds like Barrett is the culprit. Before we can defend Barrett, we are thrown in the desolate coral prison below. It's here that we meet all kinds of rejects, like Cross-Eyed Joe and his sister wives. After fighting off predators in the showers, it became clear that we needed to find Barrett and escape. Before we can, Barrett wants to find Dine, a former acquaintance. Once we find him, we learn the tragic backstory of Barrett. You see, Barrett pushed his town into accepting Shinra's offer, only for Shinra to destroy the town over time. Barrett then tried to save his friend, losing his arm in the process. Marlene, the small girl that Barrett has been raising, is actually Dine's daughter. Barrett has been raising her as a form of repentance in his own way. Despite her being a constant reminder of his pain, shame, and failures, he doesn't let this change how he cares for the girl. He takes all of the judgments on the chin and tries his best to rectify his mistakes, all while trying to save the helpless from Shinra. Again, it's amazing to see depth added to this character, and it instantly makes you care for Barrett more than you already did. After fighting a Dine that refuses to see reason, he makes Barrett promise to care for his daughter before throwing himself to his death. This destroys Barrett, yet he knows he has to be strong for Marlene. Much like his missing arm, Barrett would carry these painful scars for the rest of his days, and his only salvation was to stop Shinra, even at the cost of lives, the lesser of two evils as he views it. So, after all of this emotional depth and loss, we raised some chickens. After winning some chicken races, we earned our freedom from prison and a nice buggy that allowed us to traverse the desert sands. Cloud and company then made their way to Gongaga, a small village that suffered a reactor explosion. It's here that we meet the parents of another first-class soldier, one Cloud doesn't know, which is weird. But not as weird as dino trucks! Back on the road, we stop at Cosmo Canyon, one of my favorite locations in the game. The beautiful time of day change, the scenery, and of course, the music. As we entered, Red 13 is welcomed as Nanaki. As it turns out, this is where he's actually from. Cosmo Canyon is a settlement of outsiders, rebellious to Shinra, and they are led by Papaul Budenhagen, this Master Yoshi-looking dude. Despite Red 13 being a dog thingy, he's actually from here and is the last of his race. Despite being a proud warrior, Red 13 is actually ashamed of his father, somebody he views as a coward. As we are welcomed into their ranks, we trip some acid with Bugenhagen in his observatory as he explains the life stream and how the planet is a living, breathing thing, and by stealing the planet's Mako, we are weakening the planet and the balance of all things. Oh, great. Hippies. I actually liked the magical elements of the planet and the life stream myself. Sure, nature versus industry is featured in plenty of mediums, from Ghibli films to Pokemon, but I like when it's all infused with additional magical properties and lore. Is it saying that cutting every tree down is bad? No. It's saying that stealing the planet's secret energy to fuel your death machine robots is kinda bad though. After the presentation, the Ghost Fisters reassemble and fight their way through the Cave of Gi, battling the dead spirits of an evil tribe. After battling and picking up some nice items and taking out the main dude, we discover the truth of the cave. Red 13's father wasn't a coward. He was actually a great warrior that was turned to stone by the poisonous warriors of the Gi. He serves as a protector of the village. Armed with the truth, Red 13 stands beside his petrified father and howls in pain. Most games create temporary obstacles that hinder your progress to inflate game time. They also make most side character stuff into side content, essentially optional missions for affinity. Final Fantasy VII does something entirely different. It creates obstacles so you can learn the heartbreaking truths of its characters and for the game to explore its numerous mysteries. It's this distinction that truly makes the game special in my opinion. Did we get sent to prison and fight an undead tribe? Yes. Also, we could learn the heartbreaking truths of Barret and Red 13. The game finds the perfect way to unravel truths, create cool gameplay moments, have momentary hurdles, and make us care for characters. It's damn near perfect design. Knowing how and why these characters act the way they do brings you closer to them. It adds depth while also showing them grow over time. As we leave, Red 13 joins us, hoping to save the planet despite Budenhagen's pessimism. Our next stop? Nibelheim. It's been 5 years since the return. What would the city look like after the fire and massive murder fest? Well, it looked normal. Despite the disaster that supposedly happened, the townsfolk claim otherwise. This begs you to question, is Cloud, and Tifa for that matter, full of shit and crazy? Or are these paid crisis actors like the ones X always claims the government uses? Also, who the hell are these super weird dudes with numbers? They mention Sephiroth and a reunion. Are these the guys that we've been following, or are they something else? Heading into the mansion, we see Sephiroth, who hints at a reunion before turning into Neo and flying off. Before we give chase again, we unlock the safe and engage in a boss fight against this chubby, two-faced bastard. Don't let this goofy thing trick you. It's actually the first fight that gave me fits. Before, my loadout was dog shit and disorganized. This was the first fight that actually made me game plan, look for weaknesses, and strategize. From here on out, I couldn't just rely on my coolness and scrape by. After its defeat, I pocketed the summon Materia and used the key to unlock the basement. It's here that we gained another optional companion, Vincent. Vincent is just gothic Gary. He sleeps like a vampire, is dark and mysterious, and turns into a literal werewolf. At first, he declines our invitation, but after mentioning Sephiroth and Shinra and Hojo, he decides to come with us. Vincent is another tragic character that requires you to go out of your way to learn his story. He was formerly of the Turks and loved Lucrezia, the surrogate mother of Sephiroth. I can see why fans love him though. He's dark, brooding, uses badass guns, looks cool, and Naruto runs like a true alpha. After recruiting Vincent, we scale Mount Nibble, fight some weird-ass creatures, revisit the reactor, and make our way to Rocket Town. As Shinra arrives, we meet Cid, the last companion on our epic journey. Now, what's the best way to describe Cid? In my eyes, he's the master of aviation and misogyny. You see, Cid was supposed to be in space, but that stupid woman Shara cost him his dream. Cid likes to smoke, curse, and harness the almighty power of boomer wife-beater energy. Let's just say his level 2 limit break is called No More Backtalk, bitch. Shinra shows up, and after Cid refuses to give up his plane, the tiny Bronco, shit goes sideways. Cloud and crew fights off Palmer, who gets wrecked in the best way possible. After, we jump aboard the tiny Bronco as Shinra shoots it down. Having crashed, we can now use the ship as a makeshift boat, opening up more playable game areas. We learn that Sephiroth is going to the Temple of the Ancients, but we will need a key. I wonder where it could be. Maybe we can ask this completely random guy in the middle of nowhere. Dio at the Golden Saucer? Okay, thanks, man. Using the Bronco, we return to the Golden Saucer and fight in the pits to win Dio's favor. After gaining the key, the cable car is deactivated, meaning that we will have to spend the night on the town. Despite me wanting to rest, Tifa visits my room. It's time for a date. This moment is a key moment in Final Fantasy VII because it lets you further bond with your favorite characters. Again, a hurdle that only reinforces your love. Despite having a wonderful time, sorry Aerith stans, asshole shows up and steals the key. Turns out the pussycat is a traitorous asshole. Now I can see why the fandom hates him. After escaping, Cloud and crew make their way to the temple, where once inside, we find Sang, who's been gravely wounded, having fought Sephiroth. Progressing deeper inside, we find trippy-ass rooms, hazardous puzzles that I suck at, and some nice items. Within the temple's core, we find Sephiroth, who reveals his evil plans to call forth a literal meteor, Armageddon style, and wound the planet. With the planet wounded, Sephiroth would be able to absorb the life stream energy and become a higher god tier being. As Sephiroth leaves, we actually discover the temple itself is the Black Materia, a magical MacGuffin that Sephiroth needs. Asshole, feeling like a sad, remorseful pussycat, decides to sacrifice his robotic body in order to gain the Black Materia. But first, we needed to fight a creepy-ass wall monster that did its best asshole impersonation. This fight shouldn't have been hard, but again, my loadouts are trash, as if they were made by the fine folks at Ubisoft. My newest strat? All materia plus time, god tier. As the temple turns into the Black Materia, we lose control of Cloud. For some reason, Cloud goes rogue, as we are unable to stop him from beating Aerith to a pulp. Seriously though, I thought I was doing something wrong, and while comical, it was also disturbing. The only reason why Cloud stops is because the party knocks him out. Cid didn't help though, I'm just pointing that out. He was actually rooting for Cloud, I swear. As Cloud is knocked out, he has a dream of Aerith, who in her own way forgives Cloud. Awakening, we learn that Aerith has left to deal with Sephiroth on her own, which I didn't blame her. Despite Cloud being a crazy loose cannon that might just be insane, he still made the party leader. You see, the party wants to be there should Cloud go crazy again. Because of Cloud's dream though, we knew which way Aerith went, through the Sleeping Forest. On our way, we roleplay as Indiana Jones and help a team plant explosives looking for treasures. Once we had found the magical MacGuffin harp, we were able to pass through the forest, fight some unique enemies, and end up in the City of the Ancients. This area was one of my favorites. Not only does this area have this cool, dried up, oceanic aesthetic, but it also has some really badass music. After scrounging for some items, we find Aerith praying at the altar. As we approach, once again Cloud loses control, yet we manage to fight the urge. In that moment, Sephiroth descends and impales Aerith, killing her. As the music swells, you are helpless to save her. For years, I've seen people claim that this is the greatest video game death of all time. and after experiencing it myself, I think I agree. I knew it was coming, yet it still caught me off guard. For starters, the event is shocking with how abrupt it feels. Aerith dies at the halfway mark just as the game was highlighting her importance. For all intents and purposes, Aerith was supposed to be the chosen one of the game. She was the ancient, having the power to speak and understand the will of the planet. In a poetic way though, Aerith had to die, because she couldn't exist in this world. Everything in this world gets swallowed whole, consumed by hate, revenge, or pain. Aerith though was different. She was a flower in a world of steel. She wasn't as jaded or corrupted as the rest. That's why she had to die. Flowers can't grow in the shadow. After making some gamers cry and taking the air out of their lungs, the game makes the party fight another abomination. After, the party is finally able to mourn Aerith and lays her to rest in the nearby lake. With a goodbye, the party hardens their resolve and swears to make Sephiroth pay. After, the party heads north, hoping to find Sephiroth and the Promised Land. After arriving in the frozen tundra, we get some additional backstory on Aerith and Jenova. You see, Jenova isn't an ancient. Rather, it's a being that can disguise itself and loves to destroy. We also learn that Hojo was responsible for Aerith's parents' death. Thanks, game, for reminding me that he's evil and that she's dead. Wiping away the tears, we get punched by our waifu Elena, clearly losing another waifu. We did manage to get a snowboard though, so even trade? You see, Final Fantasy VII has been throwing mini-games at us the entire time. We need to time things, escape on motorbikes, do weird beat-em-up games, help little moguls get laid, do CPR, and now it's time to snowboard. Despite the controls being ass and the graphics looking like an upgraded Atari 2600, I still found it to be fun, despite my numerous crashes. After making it to the bottom in relatively one piece, we can use the map to explore the frozen area. Once we pass out from the cold, we awaken to find this weird dude who just needs a friend. Overall, I liked this area. There were cool areas to explore using the map system, nice items to find, and a couple nice secrets. However, it was time to tackle the icy wall. Each time we climb, I had to mash buttons till my fingers were a bloody pulp just to keep warm. All this finger pain just because Cloud refuses to wear a jacket. I know he wants to show off his guns, but it's getting ridiculous at this point. We also fight a double-headed boss once near the top. Despite him being rather hard, nothing compares to the real threat of this area: icicles. Plowing ahead, we finally reach the peak, where we discover the northern crater, which is littered with big strong dudes. After speaking with the team, we push forward and notice a large army of weird dudes from Nibelheim. Again, they all mention the reunion. Then we run into the biggest obstacle of my entire run: the dreaded wind walls. You see, you're supposed to be able to jump across when the wind and energy isn't in your way. If you fail, you get pushed back and must fight something. Sounds easy, right? Well, it is. For normal people. I'm colorblind though. I can't see the shit. That means I'm gonna spend the next 30 minutes losing and fighting the same battles on repeat. At a certain point, I thought my game was glitched and that chat was just screwing with me. Nope, I'm just a colorblind dipshit. After some help from chat and an unhealthy amount of prayer, I finally managed to pass through. I had done it. Guess what was next? Another one, motherfucker! Once the party had passed through the impenetrable defenses, we decided to give Red 13 the black materia, for he was the only one we all trusted. Approaching, Sephiroth shows up and gives Cloud glimpses of the supposed truth, showing another person in Cloud's place in his memories. Cloud refutes this, not falling for the mind games. Tifa, though, has been doubting Cloud the entire time, because she doesn't remember Cloud being there. While Cloud doesn't know things he should, he also knows things he shouldn't, and Tifa has been worried about Cloud and his memories the entire time. Is he insane? Or is she? During this time, Shinra also arrives, as does Hojo, who admits that Cloud is in fact laced with Jenova genes, and the reunion is taking place. Hojo theorized that the Jenova cells and body parts given time would all congregate, a reunion. Sephiroth has actually been here the entire time, and instead of him, we've been chasing Jenova, who had taken Sephiroth's image. She's been on her way to the reunion, so has the other numbered clones. Hojo also explains that Cloud strived to confront Sephiroth, has been fueled by the Jenova Cell reunion. Cloud has Jenova cells, hence the loss of control and the voices. This explains Cloud, Jenova, and all the weird-ass experiments gathering near the cocooned Sephiroth. It's the reunion. This revelation shocks Cloud, fragmenting his mind as all hell breaks loose. Tifa tries to pull Cloud back from the brink, but it's too late. Cloud is gone. After a few scenes of trickery, Cloud regains the black materia, who then promptly gives it to a now re-emerged Sephiroth. This shit blew my mind. Not only has Cloud been manipulated by the Jenova cells, but his past is also seemingly a lie. Cloud has been an unreliable narrator, a storytelling technique that is very uncommon for video games. That makes you go back and question everything that has happened to this point. In my eyes, the most shocking part is that despite us as the player thinking we are controlling Cloud, it's actually been the Jenova cells. That in some weird way, we haven't actually played as Cloud, we've actually been playing as the Jenova cells. We've been manipulating the character of Cloud as the cells themselves. Again, this twist, revelation, and shocking moment is one of the best in gaming history. Not only did Sephiroth kill Aerith, but he's also been manipulating Cloud the entire game, secretly in control. Cloud accepts that he isn't the real Cloud and falls into the life stream as the weapons awaken. What are the weapons? Weapons are the planet's defense system, activating when they feel the planet is in danger. Shinra, witnessing it all, does manage to escape with our party in tow. However, things are looking absolutely terrible. Aerith is dead. The party just lost. Cloud is gone. Ancient kaiju have awoken, and Sephiroth has the black materia and is summoning meteor that will destroy the planet. We have lost. Awakening in Junon City, Tifa learns that the meteor is incoming and Cloud is in fact missing. Too bad she can't worry about that because she's about to be publicly executed on national TV. Barrett, though, with the help of the animatronic asshole, manages to get free. Together with Yuffie, they fight their way to freedom. All of this happens while one of the weapons attacks, helps free Tifa, and then gets shot in the face by the BFG. While making her escape, Tifa is confronted by Scarlet, and they have a slap fight while on the city's massive gun. This is the one moment I will never forget. Tifa and Scarlet making Dana White proud doing their best slap boxing. Not gonna lie to you guys, this shit was erotic. Like when Snake fought Liquid. After that performance, Scarlet, you earned a spot on the waifu team. Eventually, Scarlet bent the knee, Tifa made her escape, and the team sailed on the high wind. After, we finally got access to our very own skyship, which was really awesome. But before we could drop things from the sky on unsuspecting Shinra, we needed to locate Cloud and finally learn the truth. After days of searching the local Hot Topic stores, we stopped to rest in a small town named Midgar. Cloud was actually there. Having fell into the life stream, it left Cloud with severe Mako poisoning, making his brain into jello. Tifa, distraught at the sight of Cloud, decides to stay back in hopes of restoring his sanity and memory. The rest of the party moves on though, knowing they have to stop Shinra and their attempts to collect huge materia from around the map. The first stop was the Coral Reactor. It was time for Team Sausage. Despite the team's skill, they were too late. However, Team Sausage doesn't give up that easily. Team Sausage stormed the train and managed to stop it before it crushed the helpless folks of Coral. For our efforts, we gained the huge materia and Ultima, one of the best materia in the game. Returning to Tifa, she's been unsuccessful in restoring Cloud. In that moment, one of the weapons attacks and Team Sausage responds. Despite Team Sausage's heroics, the resulting devastation causes Tifa and Cloud to fall into the life stream. Once inside, Cloud and Tifa trip balls, Bugenhagen style. Tifa awakens to find she's inside Cloud's mindscape and tries to help him restore his mind piece by piece. It's here that we learn the truth of Cloud and Tifa's relationship and the truth of the tragic past. As kids, Cloud was helpless to save Tifa when she needed it and promised to himself that he would never again be too weak. This pushed him to join Soldier, the elite Shinra task force. However, he wasn't accepted and viewed as weak. Instead, he was adopted into the normal Shinra army. 2 years later, he returned to Nibelheim, yet hid his true identity from Tifa, embarrassed that he never made it into Soldier. In his own fractured mind, he thought of himself as Zack, the true soldier in his memories of his former friend. The reason Tifa doesn't remember him is because he hid. Again, he was embarrassed. Cloud has known things he shouldn't and has forgotten things he should know. Now, it all makes sense. He was there, lost in the memories of that entire time. We also get to see what happened to Sephiroth. After defeating Zack, killing Tifa's dad, and wounding Tifa, Cloud protected Tifa and later threw Sephiroth in the lifestream. This explains why Sephiroth has been in the lifestream, not the actual game. He's been controlling things like Cloud and Jenova from the shadows. He's only now rematerialized due to the reunion. After the whole ordeal, Cloud and Zack were experimented on by Hojo, and Cloud is only alive to this day because he was saved by Zack, who died trying to bring the pair to freedom. The best part of this reveal is that the game set all of this up. The game has had these truths in front of your face the entire game, and yet we couldn't see them. Again, the unreliable narrator is perfect, and Cloud saving Tifa, someone he struggled to express his feelings for, is a magical, heartfelt moment. He was finally there when she needed him to be. As the music swells and you see a normal weak man defeat Sephiroth, it inspires you. Finally, after 20 plus hours, Cloud is restored to himself, having accepted the truth and is now awoken. Together, the couple rises from the livestream and joins the rest of the party. It's time to stop Sephiroth. Before they can, though, the party needed to head for Junon City and collect the huge materia in the underwater lab. After storming Junon, we fight some robots and commandeer a sub. The game, after giving us chocobos, a buggy, a boat, snowboards, waifus, and planes to ride, gives you yet another vehicle, a submarine. At first, I thought this was going to be terrible, but I can humbly say that I managed to beat this in a world record time of like 20 seconds. So now with our submarine, we can dodge the weapon under the water and loot the ocean floor of more treasures. Not before kicking the shit out of the Turks though. Armed with our sub and some new materia, we head for Rocket Town, where Shinra plans to launch some huge materia out of a rocket. These final acts are absolutely crazy, by the way. We enter the mindscape, have a train heist, steal a submarine, fight massive kaijus, and are now boarding a rocket. Final Fantasy VII just mixes 7 action movie plots together into a single story, and I love it. So, arriving at Rocket Town, we get our asses launched into space. After collecting the huge materia, we use an escape pod to return to Earth. Despite Sid being a prickly asshole, it was nice to see his dreams realized. He even forgave Shara and realized women aren't that bad. That's character development, folks. Returning to Cosmo Canyon, Bugenhagen accompanies us back to the ancient city, where we learn that Aerith died while trying to summon Holy, a powerful entity that has the power to stop Meteor. Again, I'm trying to forget Aerith, and the game keeps tugging on my heartstrings. I mean, they're reflecting her photo on water, for God's sake. Leaving, Diamond Weapon plans to attack Midgar, and despite us hating Shinra, we can't let the innocent people die. Even the animatronic asshole is begging us to help save the day, showing that despite being Reeves from Shinra, he's not a monster. He's a prick. There's a difference. Riding the wind, we confront the weapon and manage to repel its attack. But not before Rufus gets annihilated. At least him and his father are reunited in hell. Within the city, Hojo has been charging the Sister Ray, the BFG from Junon, in hopes of powering up Sephiroth. Yep, Hojo is still an asshole. Before we can stop his twisted ass, we need to get within the city. Time for some skydiving. After 25 plus hours, we finally return to Midgar and the game comes full circle. It was an amazing return. I got lost in the metro tunnels again, found some new loot, teabagged the Turks one last time, and killed the evil laugh duo and their big ass robot. RIP Heidegger and Scarlet, you'll be missed. After fighting our way through enemies and nostalgia, it's time to finally face Hojo, which you could interpret as the true villain. So many things have been set in motion because of his evil schemes, because as it turns out, he's Sephiroth's father. Yep, this bastard used his own cells and Jenova cells to create Sephiroth. Now he plans on empowering his son with Mako to create the ultimate being. We couldn't let that happen. However, that creepy ass nerd had gotten an upgrade, a nasty one. Despite the testosterone injections, Hojo was still no match for Ultima. With the destruction of Hojo, Midgar is saved. Before we storm the northern crater, Cloud asks the party to leave and to find out what they are truly fighting for. In his eyes, this mission is a suicide mission. With their last night on Earth, Cloud and Tifa are still too shy to express their feelings. Thank God there's another way to express your feelings, physically. Awakening and smoking an after-sex cigarette, the couple returns to the high wind and is greeted by the party. It was finally time. Arriving at the crater, we battle wave after wave of Sephiroth minion on our way to the core. These areas are equal parts wild and badass. You can tell the game is ramping up to an epic finale. Once close enough, you choose your final squad, then descend. Within the depths of the planet, you manage to defeat Jenova before facing Sephiroth. This fight was epic, but also easy. After smacking his bulge a few times, Sephiroth went and cried back to Jenova. What a joke, I mean, oh shit. Yeah, without a good loadout and spamming summons, Sephiroth can be kinda hard. Plus, his astrology attack is the most epic and badass shit in the entire game. It also takes 57 minutes because it plays 24 cutscenes and shows him blowing up the entire Milky Way galaxy. As a side note though, One-Winged Angel, legendary. Through grit and spamming ultimas, Team Avalanche manages to defeat Sephiroth once and for all. During our escape though, Cloud senses Sephiroth. It's time for a 1 versus 1. This is peak fiction. Omni slashing this bitch to the Shadow Realm felt so good. Escaping, the team watches as the Lifestream and Holy fight against the meteor. I think of Aerith and her sacrifice, Zack and his friendship, Keith the Chocobo, Mr. Dolphin, and of course, my waifu. In the final moments, Holy prevails and the planet is saved. As the credits roll, I applaud like a jackass. So after reflecting, I can say that Final Fantasy VII is now one of my favorite games of all time. Something about the world, characters, music, and story just make me smile. I personally feel that this is one of the best JRPGs of all time, and it's not solely judged on my enjoyment either. You see, the game is marvelous just from a design standpoint. It was innovative for its time and still features things that would be awesome in today's gaming landscape. For example, look at the Materia system. Even with modern action combat in the remake, the Materia system still shines. So many JRPGs and fantasy games also rely on tropes. Are tropes a bad thing? No, it can actually help draw in certain players who enjoy traditional fantasy tropes. However, it can also be rewarding to go against these tropes or do them in clever ways. For every traditional path or character archetype Final Fantasy VII has, there isn't an accompanying path that it walks alone, helping it stand apart. Just look at its main character Cloud, its unreliable narrator storytelling, and its world building. I would happily trade a random generic fantasy castle for Midgar any day. The game has this massive legacy, a legacy that helps this game stand apart still 27 years later. Do other JRPGs capture some of these feelings? Sure. There are plenty of amazing JRPGs that can still capture the feelings of our childhoods. It is very rare though that one can do this while in adulthood while playing it for the first time. Afterward, I found myself digging deeper into the lore and fandom, then wanting to Men in Black myself so I could experience the twists and turns again. In my opinion, the mysteries of this game rival any twist in gaming. Plenty of lists exist that speak about the best twists. Going forward, if those same lists don't mention Final Fantasy VII, then they clearly haven't done their research. Now, does this game have issues? Sure. Some of the tasks the game wants you to do are meaningless and feel like modern game fetch quests. Go get a chocobo, go get a key, go get another key. These stand out because these moments aren't tied to characters or development. They are meaningless hurdles for the most part, and the game wouldn't be hurt if removed. With that being said, they collectively took me 10 minutes. That's right, even when the game is bad, it doesn't outstay its welcome. Are some of the moments kinda goofy? Sure. Can the materia swapping become a nightmare? Of course. Final Fantasy VII isn't a perfect game, but a perfect game doesn't exist. This game just comes closer to perfection than most older JRPGs I've played, all while showcasing legendary characters and a story that personally resonated with me. There are still things in this game that modern games should be trying to emulate, such as gameplay, pacing, characters, and story. Despite 27 years having passed as of the time of this video, Final Fantasy VII's legacy is still being felt. Cloud and company have become JRPG icons, the game is constantly being mentioned in best of lists, and looking forward, the series is being introduced to new fans all the time, including myself. Currently, we're in the decade of Final Fantasy VII, with Remake releasing in 2020, Rebirth in 2024, and the third game coming on a later date. It's a good time to be a Final Fantasy VII fan, something I can proudly announce that I am. I am a Final Fantasy VII weeb now, and I like that. With all this being said, subscribe for more content, make sure to play Final Fantasy VII, and leave a comment with your favorite Final Fantasy VII moment. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.